Have you ever noticed something strange after an argument ends? The conversation is over. The other person has moved on, but your mind hasn't. Hours later, you're still replaying it. The words they said, the tone they used, the moment when the conversation started turning, and suddenly your brain begins rewriting the entire exchange. You should have said this. You should have responded like that. Why didn't you explain it better? So the argument continues, not out loud. But inside your head, your mind keeps returning to the moment, running through new versions of the same conversation, different responses, better explanations, stronger arguments. It's like the mind is trying to win a discussion that already ended. If you've experienced this, you're not unusual. In fact, this is one of the most common things the brain does after conflict. Arguments create emotional tension, and the mind dislikes unresolved tension. So it keeps returning to the moment, trying to organize it, trying to make sense of it, trying to restore a feeling of control. But here's the strange part most people eventually notice. The more the mind revisits the argument, the less peaceful it becomes. Every replay brings the emotion back. The frustration, the irritation, the feeling of being misunderstood, and suddenly something that lasted 5 minutes in real life lives in your mind for hours. Sometimes even days. The mind believes it's solving the problem, but most of the time, it's simply keeping the conflict alive. The other person may already be thinking about something else entirely. Their day, their responsibilities, their own thoughts. Meanwhile, your brain is still standing in the same moment, trying to finish a conversation that has already ended. People who develop emotional steadiness learn something important about these mental arguments. Not every conflict needs to be replayed. Not every sentence needs to be perfected afterward. Sometimes the strongest response is allowing the conversation to stay where it happened, in the past. Because once the moment is over, continuing the argument in your mind rarely changes anything. It only keeps the emotion active. That doesn't mean you ignore what happened. It simply means you recognize when your mind is trying to reopen something that is already closed. The next time you catch your mind replaying an argument, pause for a moment. Notice what your brain is doing. It's trying to finish something, trying to restore control, trying to rewrite the moment. But sometimes the healthiest thing you can do is allow the conversation to remain unfinished. Not every disagreement needs a perfect ending. Sometimes peace comes from letting the moment pass instead of carrying it forward. And when you begin to do that, something interesting happens. The arguments in your head become quieter. Not because the memory disappears, but because your mind finally learns it doesn't need to keep fighting. If this reflection resonated with you, subscribe. Because many people continue arguing in their minds long after the conversation ends, and sometimes it helps to hear that you're not the only one experiencing it.